Hi everybody, and welcome back to my Wednesday night sessions. This is the fourth of my Wednesday night sessions since we're down in lockdown, so well done for getting through 3.5 weeks now. Tonight is a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about something called the Wheel of Life, and if you don't have one with you, go and get a pen and a piece of paper because we'll start very soon, but you'll need one of those unless you've printed out the template which I've put on my page. So if you don't know me, my name is Helen and I am a personal development junkie turned life coach. I work with people for all manner of reasons to do with their career, their confidence and relationships. And tonight I'm going to talk you through one of the tools that I use usually in the early stages of a coaching relationship I have with my clients. The reason I wanted to take you through it tonight is it's a super accessible tool. It's really easy, it's quite good fun and quite revealing as well. And it's great for an icebreaker sort of thing in terms of finding out a bit more about somebody's life and especially your own life if you're going to do it along with me tonight. And working out where you maybe need to switch your focus up a little bit. So, as I said, this is the fourth of the series. If you haven't seen any of my other Facebook Live videos, they're on my the Helen Unwin Coaching Facebook page or on my YouTube channel, which is just Helen Unwin. So I'm going to, if you can grab your stuff, grab your paper, or print off the template, grab your pen, and we're going to start. Okay, so the Wheel of Life, look, what is it all about? I'm going to show you the template which I put on the page earlier. So it looks a bit like a wheel. There's 8 different sections or spokes. Each category divides it into the different sections of your life. So we've got relationships, finance, career, personal growth, health, contribution, fun, and environment. And how it works is it's a really good way to say, if somebody turns up and says, and doesn't really know exactly what they want out of the coaching session, but they know that something's a bit funky, they need a little bit of help somewhere, or sometimes people feel a bit more reserved and don't want to share their entire life with me first of all. And so this tool is a really good place to start. So how we approach it is, what we do is we start to think about each of these areas, and I'll go through them with you one by one in a second. But as we approach each section, what we think about is, what would a 10 out of 10 in this area feel like for you? And basically, if you were living a 10 out of 10 in this area, in any of these areas of life, you would be exactly where you feel you need to be right now in your life in this area. It doesn't mean you have to be a billionaire. It doesn't mean you have to, have the absolute career for your dreams. But basically what it does need to do, and it does need to be, is about what you want and what you feel is the best and exactly where you need to be. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is grab your pen, and if you, like I say, if you don't have a template, quickly draw a circle, 4 lines, so that you can separate it into 8 areas, and then start to label each area. It doesn't matter if you don't have the 0 to 10, you can judge. 0 is towards the centre of the wheel, and 10 is at the top, and 10 is the best, 0 is not where you want to be. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the relationship section. So where would you say your relationships are? And when I'm talking about relationships, I'm saying, how are they working for you? So how are your key relationships working for you? So think about your family life, your kids if you have them, your other half, how good is your communication together, your love life, how is your relationship with your parents, your intimacy, all those sorts of things go into this relationship bucket. So what I want you to do is get a pen and mark from 0 to 10 on this line here to the right of the relationships, and just write it a little cross. Okay, And basically we'll move round to the next one all the way round, and then we'll join the dots and it'll look a little bit like a spider's web. So the next one I want you to think about is the finance. So are you happy with your sort of current and future finances? So, how much money you've got available to you, have you got a rainy day fund? Have you got enough money to do the things that you want to do? And are you saving for, say, retirement or whatever is important for you to have, maybe a nest egg or that sort of thing? Where would you say you are out of 10 on your finances in terms of your expectations about where you'd like to be? So just mark a little point and we'll move on to career. So is working for you? So in terms of, fulfillment, progression, your salary, the responsibilities, maybe the colleagues you work with or the location you work. Think about those things and they all contribute to your career. Excellent. I'm glad to hear it, Helen. So thinking about all of those things, whether work is working for you, where would you score out of 10 based on where would you like to be at this point in your life and where you are right now? Is it a 10 out of 10? Is it a 0 in 10? Somewhere in the middle. Just mark it along there. Okay. And the next area is personal growth. So this one is basically, are you growing as a person? Which might sound I'm an adult, I'm growing outwards maybe rather than upwards. But this is more around, are you learning new things? Are you giving yourself time alone, to give for yourself? Are you are you doing something you're passionate about? Are you learning new things? I think I said that already. But all of this is around you growing as a person. So are you developing? Are you, doing what you wanted to do and doing new things, basically? So give yourself a score out of 10 on personal growth. Okay, how are you doing? Right, next we're going to move on to health. So when I talk about health, it's around how happy are you with your body, sort of inside and out. And I'm thinking body, physical fitness. I'm thinking mental fitness. I'm thinking about your appearance, exercise, all of those things all together. How do you rate yourself out of a 10 based on where would you like to be in terms of your health? Are you looking after your health? And think about mental, think about physical, all of those different things. And then, so give yourself a score out of 10 and then moving on to contribution. So contribution is how are you contributing your gifts to the world? So basically what are you doing? This could be charity work, it could be community work, it could be love and sharing your love, it could be giving your gifts to the world. Right now, even more than ever, it feels like something that we like to do where we are, we're in lockdown. I'm not a key worker, and so that's why I was doing these things basically. And so I wanted to go for this and do these presentations with you and share a bit about what I can do. So that's the contribution area. Where is it out of 10 for you? Okay. And then next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move on to the fun area. And so when we talk about fun, I'm talking about, are you enjoying your time on Earth, basically? How, in terms of friends, socialising, which is a little bit more tricky at the minute, adventures, travelling, having fun, all of those things. Where would you rate yourself out of 10 in terms of a day-to-day point of time for fun? And again, out of 10, point yourself. And then before we go into the final area, which is environment. So this is more around, your home, where you live, the location of your house, what sort of house you live in, all of those things. Do you enjoy it? Is it right for you? Is there something else that you wanted? Have you got some outdoor space? Is it designed? Does it look pretty? All of those things. Whatever's important to you about your environment and the physical space that you inhabit. This is where you score that. And that is the environment. So choose a score from 0 to 10, please. And then the next thing I want you to do, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, but this is a worked example, but in various different colours. You will then see all the different areas as you join them up. I've illustrated them with different colours so you could see the score associated with the number here. But you join them all up. It looks a bit like the inside of a spider's web. And that's how your wheel of life looks. So welcome to your wheel of life if you've done that. So what I then do with my clients is we look at the 3 lowest scoring areas for their life. So on this one, for instance, we've got 2 3s and a 2. So we've got health, finance and fun. So what I would do then is we would concentrate specifically on those 3 areas. And starting with the first of the areas, so we'd go with health, which is the lowest, unless the client wanted to go with one of the others because they felt more important. But we'd start with one and then work through the other 2, doing the same thing. And we'd talk about what could be driving that low score right now. So what's going on for them? Is it something bad that's happening in there? Is there an element of not meeting their own expectations about where they should be in their life for this part of their life right now? Or it could be something that they've tried and tried again, or something something has changed, or they've had bad news in this area. Something like that could be causing it a low score. And then we talk about, is it just a moment? Am I having a bad day, or is it a bad week, or is it actually this is something that's been like this for a while? And we start to talk about, how long has it felt like maybe this too, and what has changed along the lines that has made it the 2, or has it always been a 2? Are there any times where it's been higher? And then the final area is around, what could you do in this area, or what would make you feel better about it so it would be closer to 10? Is it thinking differently? Is it changing your expectations in this area, or is it doing something to change the actual where you are in this area? So that's what we do. So we asked those 3 questions. So that was, what's driving the low score? Is it a moment in time, or has it always been like this? And then the third thing is around, how could you get it closer to a 10? Do you have to change your expectations? Do you have to do something about it, or think differently about it? So those are some of the things that you'd want to look at and start to think about. And then we go through to the next lowest scoring area. So that would be maybe finance or fun here. So if this person wanted to choose, they might choose finance, they might choose fun, whichever feels most important to them. I usually get led by them in terms of which area to focus on. So we'll go to those, we'll repeat those 3 steps, which are, again, what's driving the low score? Is it a moment in time, or has it always been like this? And then what could bring it up closer to a 10? And from that, then we usually get a list of actions that come out of those 3. If we've got extra time, then what we'll usually do is go on to maybe the next lowest scoring area. But that's basically how it goes. And usually we come out with a list of actions or a list of things to think about for each of those areas that the client can go away and take action on. And what I usually encourage them to do is to choose one of the actions that they can do and just do it straight away to get a bit of momentum going and to start moving their spoke on their wheel to the number that they'd actually really like it. To be honest, one thing I would like to say is that very few people, if any, are going to be 10 out of 10 everywhere, because it's sort of an unrealistic expectation, really, to have 10 out of 10 in every aspect of your life. But to get it closer to, 7s or aboves in various different areas, and obviously there might be something that's a 10 because you're focusing more on it, whereas something you're happy with it being a 7 because actually right now that's not your priority. But when something is maybe a 2 or a 3, it's definitely not meeting your feeling of where you'd want to be. So that's the Wheel of Life. I hope that was a decent walk through it. Obviously, this video will be saved, so you can watch it back if you didn't get it all, or you can do it slower and pause me so that you can think a bit more about it and also write down your actions and start taking them against it. But thank you very much for joining me all the way to the end. And if you do have any questions about it, just drop them in the comments below. If there's anything else that you wanted to say about the Wheel of Life or any of the other videos, you've got to come to my page and we can talk about it, or drop me a message. But thank you very much. I'll see you next week for the last of my April lockdown sessions. So have a great week. See you then. Bye.